What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here with a brand new show that I'm reviewing. This is The Shy. This is season 3. This is episode number 2. You guys, I missed episode number 1 just because I did not realize that the show premiered last week, and I missed it. So we're just gonna kick it off with episode number 2. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this review. All right, you guys. So in last week's episode, you guys remember that Keisha was at she was at the bus stop, and the bus came, and we didn't see Keisha anymore. So this week's episode, it opens and we see Kevin. So Kevin is standing in Keisha's empty room. He's looking around, and then he finds her purse, and then he has a little flashback about a time where he went through her purse because he was trying to get some mints out of her purse. But instead, he took her birth control pill, and their mama was not with that shit. So then he gets on her computer, and he notices that there are a lot of unread messages on there. So he reaches out to one of her friends named Malaysia, and he asks her has she saw Keisha at all. So in the middle of her typing, that's when Nina came in, they mama, and she's asking him where's Keisha. He was like, Keisha's probably over there with Malaysia. They probably had a tracking meeting. She just stayed over there. And she looking like, boy, if you know something else, you better tell me. So then we do see later in the episode where Nina and Dre, they went to Keisha's school to find out what they could, Nina's like, well, she'll miss a meal. She'll miss, she won't come home, but she's not going to miss school. And, so, they get there, and the I think she's the principal, whoever. She said, hell, we ain't even saw her either. She was like, we haven't saw Keisha. And she's like, wait a minute. So y'all didn't call us to let us, which that was kind of weird. The fact that she hasn't been to school, like when y'all alert the truancy cops. Is that what they call them? Truancy? Yeah. Like, I guess that's what they call them here in Texas, in my hometown. Like, y'all want to alert someone that, hey, because if I miss one class, they would call my mama to tell her, hey. And actually, that's a very funny story because it actually did happen. My freshman year of high school, and this was before, actually, I was skipping in my freshman year of high school. But this day, I said, what? It was my second period class. I'm like, what? Go to class. They had switched me they had switched me from one class to another class. They had switched me from my health class that I was in to another class. And I had been going to this class for about 2 weeks, and they called my mom talking about Gerald is not at school. That's my first name, and she was like, I know he is. And she came up there, and they went to the old classroom that I was in, couldn't find me. So then they came to my new classroom, and I was in class. She's like, boy, you so lucky. She says, I was going to whoop your ass if you was actually skipping. I'm like, I wasn't skipping. I'm like, as you can see, I was in my class. Like, she was dead ass serious because she had just got off. No, she hadn't got off of work. She was at home. Was my mama working a night shift when I was in high school? Oh, yes, at one point she was. So she was just, yes, that's what it was. She was working a night shift. She had worked a night shift, and she had just got off of work, and at that time that they called her, she had just got home and went to sleep. Wow, I remember that. And after that, that's when she gave me, but she didn't give it to me. I said everything. I set up the phone password, so I knew everything. So if people called for me, I could just delete the messages. But yeah, that time she was ready to whoop my ass. So back to Keisha. No one's heard from her. So then we see Kevin. He's outside of the school, and he's watching, Nina and Dre as they're leaving. And then he goes up to the school because I guess school was letting out at that time. So he runs up to Malaysia. And he's like, why you ain't responding to my text? She's like, you ain't my man. So then he asks her, so have you heard from Keisha? She says, nah, I ain't heard from Keisha. Keisha ain't text me or nothing like that. And then he asked about Keisha's dude. She was like, so do you have his number? She's like, why would I have his number? She's like, okay. He was like, okay, do you have his address? She's like, I don't have his address. She said, but what I do know is they call him Nuck, and he runs with the 63rd mob. So then we do see the cops. So the cops, we saw them. They were talking to Dre, Nina, and Kevin. So they were asking, when is the last time that they saw Keisha, and Dre and Nina were like, it's been 3 days, and they said, Kevin, when was the last time you saw her? So Kevin said the last time he saw her, but which wasn't true. And Nina's like, boy, if you know something, you better say it. So he's like, the last time I saw Keisha was on Sunday, and she was going to a party. She told me not to tell you. So he also says that, she could be with her new dude. And, her mom's like, what the hell are you talking about? And then the woman's like, yep, she could be shacked up with him. She's like, my daughter's not like that. She said, girl, I said the same thing about my daughter, but she is. I'm like, well, damn. She's like, I want to file a missing persons report. She's like, you have the right to do that. I'm like, so sis, you not gonna sit here and take the report? Ain't that fucked up? Like, fucked up. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So continuing with the Keisha situation storyline. So we see Jake. So Jake is getting ready, ready for school. Kevin comes over, and Kevin is asking Jake, does he know anything about this dude that they call Nuck? He was like, nah, I don't. He says, well, can you ask Big Mike if he knows anything? Because this is Keisha's dude, and we still ain't saw or heard from Keisha. So then we do see Jake. He's with Kevin and Papa later in the episode, and they are Papa and Jake are telling Kevin that Big Nug lives in a trap house, and I really don't think you should go there. And then so we do see they're at Duda's pizza place, and so a girl comes and tells Jake that he got somebody outside looking for him. So then he goes outside, and it's his brother Trig, which we'll talk about Trig a little later in the episode review. Um, so they have a little conversation about basically Trig is trying to get Jake to come stay with him because he wants him to be safe, and Jake is like, I'm not like Reg. Mm, you might not be like Reg, but I don't think, because some of the dumb shit you did in season 2 and 1, you might be a little bit worse than what Reg was. So then, Trig tells Jake that he wants to get to know him, and Jake is like, cool, we can do that. And he says, I also want you to come and live with me. He's like, now that part I'm not quite sure about right now, but we can think about it. So then Jake goes back inside where Kevin and Papa are. And Jake tells Kevin, like, me and Papa, we coming with you. Papa's like, I am not going nowhere. I'm scary. He's like, Papa, shut your ass up and we going. So then we do see them. They go and look for Keisha. And then they go to the house. So they get there, they knock on the door, and I'm like, nigga, you be like, you the police. So they dude answer the door. Kevin asks, Keisha there, and the dude says, nah. He's like, how can I believe you? So he tries to go in, and the dude pulls a gun at him from him. He says, is that shit supposed to scare me? Papa said, well, it scared me. Kevin's like, Papa, shut up. And, Kevin tells him, like, yo, man, I'm not leaving without my sister, so it is what it is. And that's actually where the episode ended. So then let's move over to Dre. So Dre, we did see a scene where she got on Keisha's laptop, and she used Find My iPhone. She's trying to find Keisha's phone. So then, we see her, and she's going by the bus stop where Keisha was last at. And, she finds the homeless people, and she's asking, she has a picture of Keisha. She's like, have you saw her? Have you saw this girl? Have you saw this girl? And then she walks up on Ronnie, and she asks Ronnie, have you saw her? Ronnie said, yeah, I saw her the other day. She was at the bus stop. And, Dre said, well, did she get on the bus? He says, I really couldn't tell you. Yeah, you couldn't tell because your ass was drunk as fuck. So then she says, she was like, I'm trying to find her phone. And she describes her phone. So one of the other homeless guys, Ronnie knew he had the phone. So Ronnie tried to went and got the phone and gave it to her. She's like, what the fuck happened to the phone? Why is it like this? He says, I don't know. And she's like, I know who you are and I know what you did. And if you had anything to do with her, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, please do it. Ronnie is a waste of space. And we're going to talk about Ronnie in just a little bit, though. All right, you guys, and let's discuss Emmett. So we see Emmett, and Emmett is once again catering another event. I'm like, Emmett, you gotta learn from the first event. So it's a gender reveal for one of his baby mama's cousins, And he arguing back and forth with the baby mama. I'm like, Emmett, dude, how the I'm damn he what Emmett's like what 18, 19, maybe 20 with three different baby mamas. And here's a question that I do have about Emmett, because last season Tiff told him at the end of the season 2 that she was pregnant, but in the last two episodes we seen Tiff smoking weed. So is Tiff still pregnant or not? But yeah, like I said, Emmett catering. So we see him. He get the baby mama and the son out because there's a knock on the door. He's like, that's his staff that's helping him. Staff turned out to be he got that food catered. So I'm like, you kind of wise up, but if it's like a place that has really good food, I'm pretty sure people's gonna know the difference between. I'm thinking whatever food you order, people's gonna know. Oh, this came from so and so. Oh, this is so and so's food. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. The guests started eating the food, and I'm like, wait a minute, this chicken came from somewhere. This barbecue came from so and so. This potato salad from so and so, and the baby mama looking like this nigga. And she went up to him like, Emmett, you shady as fuck, nigga. Like, if I wanted to do that, I could have done that myself instead of hiring you to do it. But the baby mama does end up paying Emmett. And then they had the gender reveal for the cousin, and little sis' face was not happy because they popped the balloons and it was blue and pink everywhere. She's like, what is it? They're like, bitch, you pregnant with twins. It's a boy and a girl. She's like, I already got 4 kids. I'm like, God damn, you got 4 kids and you adding 2 more to it. Good luck, little sis. Good luck. So now this scene might not make a lot of sense, but we're going to talk about it just later in the review. So we see Emmett. So Emmett went to go see this girl. Her name is Dominique, who's played by Lala. And he's trying to get her to work with him when it comes to this food business. And I guess I can kind of talk about why he wants to work with her. It won't be too. Yeah, I can talk about it. So he's asking her to work with him because Jada took Tiff some food in the episode, and it was this woman that was cooking out of her house and selling the food. So he ate the food, he enjoyed the food. So Dom is the person that's cooking the food. So they talking, and she's like, "If you Emmett, I heard you work. I heard you got like a third leg between your legs. Pull out your dick." So he does it, and she's like, "Come on in." So he walks in, and the setup is like an in-house restaurant. I'm like, girl, if the food department finds out about that, they gonna shut your ass the fuck down. So he eats the food. Mind you, he also want to fuck. I'm just looking at him like, because the way he was looking at her ass, like, yeah, nigga, you want to fuck. You not inconspicuous at all, Emmett. So then we see Emmett. So he took her down to Sonny's. So what he wants to do with Dominique is he wants this to be like the after hour spot. If you guys know anything about Dallas, like we have a place up here called Fuel City Tacos. People go there after hours when they leave the clubs and stuff. He wants that to be the after hours joint. Even if you go to, why did he say something about church? I guess if you're in a late service at church at night. So yeah, like if you Bible study or whatever. Just come there, get your food. At first she said no, but then she's like, you know what, little nigga, let's make it work. So they gonna be business partners with each other. They probably gonna fuck pretty soon too as well, but let's move on. Alright, you guys, so next up is Ronnie. So there's not really much to say about Ronnie, aside from the fact that Ronnie is a fucking drunk. He's now homeless. And so we see him, he is actually going through the trash can. And Ronnie is, digging through the trash trying to find cans so that he can go sell them. And I'm thinking to myself, like, because I do that from time to time. If I have cans around the place, I'll go recycle them for, whatever little change you can get. Because when you recycle cans and stuff, you don't get that much money. You don't get very much money for it. But, he's selling it, and the woman that he's selling the cans to, she's flirting with him. I'm like, wow, sis. You must be really desperate to flirt with Ronnie, of all people. So yeah, like I said, she's flirting with him, and he's like, oh, I'm seeing somebody. She's like, what is her name? Brandy, Hennessy, Alizé. I'm like, you know exactly who it is. She's like, they can't do nothing for you. They can't do for you what I can do for you. I'm like, man, that's all I gotta say. So then we see him. He goes down to the bar where his homies are, and they talking to him. They asking Ryan like, "Yo, man, why we ain't saw you in a while?" One of them said, "Are you in the cult? Cause my brother's in the cult, and you acting very cultish right about now." Ryan's like, "I'm not in the cult." They were like, "Well, let us hear where you stand at." He was like, "Ah." They're like, "Exactly, you in the cult." So then, we see them and they're taking him home, which he lives under the bridge, under the bridge, and they're like, "You homeless?" They're like, "Man, if you needed a place to stay, like you come stay with me for a little while, and you can come stay with other and him for a little while." I think Ronnie wants to. To me, it feels like Ronnie wants someone to pity him, and that's not gonna happen. Like, Ronnie got to accept the fact that you killed Coogie, and not one person in the area is gonna let that shit go. So you got to pick yourself up, and you got to be like, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna forgive me. Be like what Casey do, like Casey Anthony, George Zimmerman, whoever, anybody else has killed a kid and got away with it. Just disappear into, just disappear. You can live your life. Nobody has to see you, hear you, or none of that shit. But no one's going to forget the fact that you killed Coogie, who was unarmed, number one. Number two, he did not kill Jason. Number three, Jason was your son. Number four, that baby ain't your granddaughter. Hearing him say that shit just annoyed me. But yeah, I feel like he wants someone to pity him. But again, like I said, no one's going to do that because people know what you did. You got away with it. That should be enough for you. Not for me, but for you. That should be enough for you. And you just need to be like, you know what? Let me live my mother in life. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, and let's talk about Duda. So it looks like Duda has made Big Mike his lieutenant. I'm like, wow, you made Big Mike your lieutenant. Okay. So it seems like Duda wants Big Mike to keep an eye out. And I'm thinking he's talking about for Trig. So then Jake comes into the crib, and Duda is pissed off about the fact that Jake has his shoes on, walking on his good hardwood floor. And he said maybe he should give him back to his brother. And Jake's like, I don't know that nigga. That nigga dead to me. Actually, he said that nigga's dead. And Duda said, nah, he ain't dead, homie. He said, well, if he is, even if he is alive, he dead to me. So then, now this was where it got really interesting to me. So we see Trig, and Trig is with his girl Imani. And, Imani was doing his hair, and then, they started to get a little hot and heavy. And then it was one point, I think when she was sitting in his lap, I started to look at her face a little bit. I'm like, and I was like, I don't want to say this on camera and be offensive to anybody. But I kept looking at her, and I'm like, is she trained? I wasn't trying, and I'm not trying to be offensive. But I just kept looking. I'm like, she's a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful girl by no means. She's beautiful. But I just kept looking at her. I'm like, she looks like she's a trans woman. And I'm like, maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. So then, she asked him about Jake. As he saw Jake, he says, no, he hasn't saw Jake. She's like, so why? He was trying to, ignore the conversation. So he had a trash bag, and she grabbed it. And she was, telling him, like, you need to go talk to your brother. Like, that's not what's up. So then he starts to tell her, a story about his dad. And it was a long ass story, to be quite honest with you. Some story. His dad, I know they had to move out of their home, and they were promised the condos would be up, but after 4 years, those condos were never up. And his dad said something to his job. He did end up. His dad left. His mom got into drugs, and their life was really fucked up. So Imani tells him, like, you need to go talk to your brother. You need to tell your brother that you love him. And she says, we're going out to celebrate. He's like, why we got to go out and celebrate? She said, what's the occasion? She says, I'm the occasion. So then we see Trig and Imani. They are in a gay bar. And I was confused for a minute because I saw the bar. I'm like, so who's in a gay bar? Then we saw Trig, and another guy goes to hit on Trig. Trig was not, he's talking about, I ain't gay, nigga. and him and the dude got into it with each other. So Imani comes up, and this is the moment where I knew she was trans because I figured it out because she asked the dude what was his pronoun. He said his pronoun is he or his, and she said, "Can you apologize to him?" He apologized. They went outside, and she was like, "What's the deal?" He's like, "I'm not gay." She's like, "That's fine. I don't care if you're gay or not." She says, "But if if you can accept me, but not him, but hate him, if you can love me but hate him, it's not gonna work." Because he said, "When I look at you, I see a woman." And I was like, "Okay, so she is trans. No big deal." And I think that's a problem in this current in the world in itself, because you see a lot of trans women being murdered, and I think that is like such a big issue. It's a big issue, huge issue, because most of the times the people that kill the trans women are the men that are sleeping with them, and it comes to a point sometimes where people probably find out about them sleeping with trans women, and they can't stomach their masculinity being questioned or their sexuality being questioned for that matter. And I think it's sad, to be quite honest with you. I have to be honest, it is so sad. You know, it's because people are gonna call you gay because you're sleeping with a trans woman who was once a man. But if the lady identifies as a woman, call her a woman. I don't understand why people have such an issue with that. If a trans woman is a woman, if she says that she's trans, stop. Don't call her a he or what a man. Don't call her that. Call her what she prefers to be called, which is she, her, and a lady and a woman. Same with a trans man. Don't disrespect people and call them out of their name. It's kind of the same how we feel about how us black people feel about anybody outside of our community calling us out of our name, calling us a nigga. So respect people's wishes and what they prefer to be called. And I feel bad for Trick, to be quite honest with you, because if Trick believes that I'm not gonna say if he believes. Trick says that he's straight. If that's, damn, I'm trying not to say it in this way. Trigg says that he's straight. If Trigg says he's straight, I have no other choice but to say he's straight because he's sleeping with a woman. And that if he says he's straight, he's straight. And I always find issue with people who love to try to find out the tea on people if they're gay, bi, or whatever. Like I've had some friends in my hometown that they talk about people and they question, and it's more specifically like when I hear females talking about if a dude is gay or not, and I'm just thinking to myself like, why is that your concern? And I asked one of my friends, because she actually we not like best friends or not like that, but we were cool. We were in band together, and I would just hear her talking about this one dude. She's like, "Oh, I know he gay. Like I've heard stories about him," and I had to ask her once before. I'm like, "Why does that matter to you if he's gay or not?" She's like, "It." She couldn't give a definitive answer. I said, "Is he fucking you?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay, then there's your answer. If it ain't got nothing to do with you, don't worry about what someone else is doing." But he could be talking to some of my homegirls. If he talks to your homegirls, that's her business to find out what he's doing. It's not yours. If it doesn't pertain to you, let it go. And that's the message that I had. If it don't pertain to you, if he's not fucking you, if he's not living with you, if he's not doing anything for you, mind your business. Do that. But you guys, we're gonna move on. Alright, you guys, so let's close the episode out with Jada. So we see Jada. So Jada went on a speed dating, and Jada was striking out left and right. Now, when she told the one dude that she had grandkids, I don't know why he froze up like that. I guess maybe he think he gonna play step grandpa, but no. Then the one dude that she asked him, where was he from? I'm like, oh, Jada. And then she asked him where his parents were from. I'm like, Jada, just because he, might be of Asian descent doesn't mean he came from Asia. Just like with us, we have African descent, but we didn't. Most of us didn't come from Africa. Just putting that out there. Oh, you guys, I did an ancestry I did my ancestry last week and I just sent it off. So I'm kind of excited to get it back to see what my genetic makeup is. And if I find any family members, I'll be interested in that. But, yeah, that speed dating was just not going right. So then we see Jada, she went over to Tiff's place, who, like I said, she's smoking weed. So is Tiff not pregnant? Like, that's the question. That's to me the other question. Is Tiff pregnant or not? And she took Tiff some food from Dom. And she told her, like, with the speed dating, things went just really, really wrong. And Tiff was like, well, first of all, you need to just, you need to tease these dudes for one. Don't tell them your grandma. And, Jay, like, these dudes were like 10 times younger than I am. 10 years younger than I am. And Tiffany tells her, like, Jada, you just need your back blown out. Excuse me, and then she's like, no, what it is I want to date. I want to go to jazz stuff, but at the same time, Jada, it wouldn't hurt you to get your back blown out. So then she gives her a masseuse's number, and she's like, don't tell Emmett, that I gave this to you. So then Emmett comes in, and he see Tiff eating. She gives him some of the food. He's like, damn, what's her number? She's like, why you need the bitch number? And he said, because I want to work with her. And then, in true Tiff and Emmett fashion, all they know is to fuck. But the baby stopped that shit from happening. So then we see Jada. So Jada is at the crib getting that massage, and her body, damn, she thick. I'm like, oh, look at that. So, dude was giving her the massage, and then she lifted her head up and looked. Noticed Lil Homie was on hard, and then we see Jada and Lil Homie in the bedroom, and they are fucking each other's brains out. Now this scene got me. So when Lil Homie left, he saw Emmett, and I'm like, oh, you still doing that masseuse shit? He was like, yep. He's like, I just left the client on the second floor. He was like, the second floor? My mama live on the second floor. He's like, what apartment is she in? And that's when they realized that he just fucked his mama. Ah, he told him, nigga, get the fuck out of here. And then he Emmett in the place spraying. Like, mama got needs too. At least you're not fucking your deadbeat ass daddy. So be happy about that. But I mean, damn. If Emmett went to school with a little nigga like that, it's kind of fucked up. But shit, mama got needs, so shit, I can't hate on mama. But you guys, that was the shy. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. Also, share this video, and until the next one, I hope you guys do me a big, big favor. Stay safe out there and take care of yourselves. And until the next one, you guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, and I will be doing, I don't know how these videos are going to work for the rest of the night, but I am reviewing the BET Awards, and I will be doing Marriage Minutes in Los Angeles, so I just don't know. I don't know when they'll be up, but they'll be up. But see you later, guys.